Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the World Championship Racing Grand Prix here in Monaco. I'm Ben Raggy McConnell, and join me on the Cast Adventures, Jamie. I'm Cast Elder. How are you doing?
Not too shabby yourself, man.
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. It's good to be commentating alongside you once more here on the very sunny track of Monaco.
Absolutely, it's a legendary track, and it's not going to be the easiest one for anyone by any means. It's ridiculously narrow. It's going to be one of those ones. If you see an overtaking opportunity, you're probably going to go for it, even if you probably shouldn't. So
Yeah,
we're going to see some
abs-
action.
absolutely. This is one of the hardest tracks to make any sort of overtakes on, so it's going to come down to this 18 minutes here in the qualifying session to make sure that you get through as quick as you possibly can. You want to be going for the fastest compound tyres, not like any other track on the actual calendar. This is a do or die here in qualifying. And that's we're already seeing a dash of cars out onto the pit. JJS being the first one, and he's actually out on the ultra soft compound. There are two others that have opted for the super soft compound. Majority of drivers, aside from Pandy Boy, who's a new driver, are all on the Hypersoft. El Sergios has actually gone on to, sorry, Slash LP has actually gone on to the Ultra Soft compound as well. They are coming through. I'm just on board with JJS and Mez. He's finishing his outlap. Now, before we get underway, I do want to have a little chat before we go into the predictions about the drivers. As I've seen in some of the chat, there is a lot of drivers who think that there might be some dive bombing going on, especially in that section there. Do that little.
Yeah, through the Nerval chicane, you're going to see a lot of it. It's because you've come out of that straight and you see an opportunity, you're going to put your car there. It's possibly the second best overtaking opportunity on the track, other than the first corner, and you're going to see a lot of people get frustrated being sat behind someone, especially if they've just had DRS down the home straight. They get to the other side of the track, they're going, I'm still not past this guy, I'm going to have to go for it. They go for it, they touch wheels, and someone's going to lose a wing, or worse, a front wheel going into that corner. We're going to see it a lot today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got JJS right now who's going on his hot lap. So just before he completes his hot lap, have you got any predictions for the end of qualifying?
No, I don't.
There are a lot of new drivers.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a fair few. I mean, we're surprised. Brownlee surprised us last week, didn't he, with his broken wheel, but still did well. JGS getting past some slow
I'll
people.
start this off, just so we, I'll let you have a little time to think about it. Drake Bell has done a very good job of impressing me so far this calendar. I do think that he's going to be in a good stead. This does seem like a track that would suit Rick more than it would suit anyone else, so I'm going to go with... Oh, there's JJS out. Whoa, that was a big crash. Drake Bell gets a 5-place grid penalty from colliding with Rainbow. That's disastrous.
Do you want to go back on what you just said? You haven't finished saying what you said, so it's fine.
I wasn't going to say Drake Bell anyway.
Oh, okay.
I was actually going to say I think Rick is going to get podium here. I think he's going to get the pole position. I mean, Brownie's obviously set the first time in this session. There's two Brownies in here, one with a 0, one without. That's going to get a little bit confusing later on, but we'll cover that. So I think Rick P1. I would have gone Drake Bell P2, but now that I've just seen that he's got 5-place grid penalty, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go with Astro Boys P2. P3, however, is a very tough thing to go for. Mr. Mouse. No, I can't. No. I'm gonna go with Rainbow. Rainbow
Okay.
P3.
So I'm thinking along similar lines to you. I think Rick's possibly got a good chance here. So I'm thinking Rick, Brownie, Speedy. Assuming Speedy puts on a set of hypers. If he doesn't, then probably not Speedy.
Yeah. So Brownie with a 0 is currently the fastest driver at the minute. Obviously, we are only 5 minutes into the actual session. Just under, actually. He's done a 108.6. I'm just on board with Meta, who's done a 114.8, but looks like he's actually going to go again for a hot lap. A lot of the drivers will be quite nervous around this track because the walls are so close together. Obviously, it's kind of Baku-esque in that respect. I should say Baku's more like this track.
Yeah.
But, the difference between this and Baku is that Baku does actually have some really wide sections as well, whereas this track is just entirely narrow. That's actually right there is the widest part of the track going into turn 1. Meta, I think he's not going to get that.
Yeah,
he's someone actually that I want to keep an eye on as he goes round through the track. I just realised I was actually spectating someone further down. It was Rainbow spectating.
That's who I was looking at, so that's fine. Messa's done his time. He's
still going.
Yeah, he's
it
still
looks like
going.
He's actually going to give it another crack.
He invalidated first time round. He's got a little slow car there.
So Meta's in pits. Alright, let's take a look at Astro Boys, because he's someone else who's really quite quick, and he's about to start a hot lap. I want to stay on board with him. Do you want to do a little run through the course?
I was going to say, yeah, it is definitely one of the classics F1 circuits. It's been around for longer than I have. First corner stand named after the church just behind the barriers, believe it or not. Up the hill through Beau Rivage, sort of a little bit of kinking going on, and then this long left-hander Massenet, and then into turn 4, Casino, and then you avoid that little hump there on the left as you go down into the first Mirabeau. Tight right-hander, could be overtaking opportunities there, but it's a bit of risk through the Grand Hotel hairpin. Cars are specially designed for this circuit because of that one corner. Through the second part of Mirabeau into Portier, and then the long turn 9 under the tunnel. And this is where the overtaking is going to occur. Coming out of this, and literally you hit the top of the hill, you slam the brakes on. As you can see, it locks up there. Go through the Nouvelle chicane, turns 10 and 11. Straight now, turn 12 to back. You're going to see a few wings go on that corner, then into the swimming pool section. 4 corners here, 2 chicanes, and then he's bailed out of this. But this one here is Raskas, and then you got the final 2 corners, and he's going to go for it again through 18 and 19. And then, as I say, this is the only DRS section. It is tiny. It's about 400 meters, 450 meters long. It is the smallest DRS straight, I think, on the entire circuit, on the entire calendar.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's one of them sort of DRS sections which you can't really use to overtake unless you are like practically in the gearbox of the driver in front. It's so hard to benefit from that DRS swing, as it's usually around about sort of the 6th gear where you can use the overtake of the ERS to really help you as well, but you don't get to stay in 6th gear for very long because you're already at turn 1, and then immediately you're drag racing up the hill. And that's another section that is just so difficult for you to be able to get a lot of room, a lot of overtaking opportunities. Most drivers just opt for staying behind the driver in front for now. Ooh, a bit of a back end kicking out there for Astro Boy still. But he does look hot. He flipped that wall again.
Oh, he's got a slow mark. Drive front didn't get out of the way, really.
No, I mean, I think the drive in front was actually still going on a hot lap as well, but I think it was just so much slower than Astro Boy's, and that cost him, really.
Astro Boy's closing speed was ridiculous, though. I can't believe Rowe was on a flying lap due to that closing speed.
Well, Speedy's about to come across the line and does a 109.352. So not the fastest, but definitely not the slowest by any margin. He's on the Ultrasoft compound as well anyway, so he's going to be slower by nature. Brownie with 0, still holding the fastest lap time with a 108.6. Bill Drake Valley, we know he's got the 5-place grid penalties in P2 with a 108.6 as well, but he's in the 108.9. So
Rainbow started
us.
Rainbow's off with a bit of latency. Yeah, this track it's got a lot of unique features. There's one which I quite like because it is rather very unique. Is the pit lane is the only track that has the pit boxes between the pit lane and the grid. Quite often you get sort of grid communications boxes, the team boxes, then you've got the pit lane, then you've got the garages. This is the only one with the garages between the pit lane and the grid.
Oh,
a little interesting
another retirement.
Where's he gone?
It was a sector 3, which makes me think that it was at the end of the...
Well, I'm all with Rainbows. He's hit the yellow flags now, and there a vehicle is.
Yeah. Same place as JJS. Yeah. I mean, JJS carried on a little bit further down the track.
He had a fair bit of speed, yeah.
So,
wing there.
Rainbow is about to start a hot lap. Gonna look around a little bit, see if we can see anyone near enough at an end of one. Mr. Zoxon started one literally a couple of corners ago. Mr. Mouse is starting one. Blackbird has gone as well. So 3 drivers so far have been claimed in the qualifying session with 8 minutes left to go. Anything can happen when it comes to this race. Remember, in this track where there's very minimal overtaking opportunities, you need to make sure that your qualifying pace is quick, which is why you're seeing these drivers DNF as often as they are, because they know that they need to get the times in if they want to be able to stand a really solid chance in the race pace. And anybody that DNFs here, obviously we'll be starting a lot further down the grid, and we'll have to take it very delicately on lap 1, lap 2, because I fully suspect there's going to be a lot.
Yeah. Paddy Boy's put 3 laps on these hypersofts already.
He's going to be in a lot of trouble going into the actual race if he doesn't qualify on a faster tyre.
Fortunately, he's outside the top 10 at the moment, but I mean, if he somehow finds more pace, considering he's got no ERS, I don't think he's going to. But if he somehow increases that time, or decreases that time, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. I hope for his sake he's on the way in.
Yeah, definitely. So on board with Rick now, as he is coming through the course, just about to go up to the tunnel, passing Draco is very cleanly out of the way. Again, remember he has got 5 place grid penalties, so whilst he is in P2, he'll be in P7 if things stay as they are. Rick now coming through the Neville chicane, I believe that is.
I think that's where Blackbird went off. I think I saw a wheel hub in the wall.
And Rick's doing well there. Oh, he took
aggressive.
that very quickly. That was really, really good. Now he needs to make sure he doesn't lock up the tyres. He's coming through the second to last corner. Oh, I guess this is 2 corners here.
Yep.
And now DRS and ERS on overtake. And he goes
Boom.
P1, almost has a huge collision with somebody coming out of the pits. That was very close.
I
But a
think that's
108.373 on the ultra soft compound, by the way. I think I was bang on the nose there with my prediction of Rick being P1. If he can do that on ultra softs, imagine what he can do on the hypersoft. But speaking of hypersofts, we currently have Willy Wemper on a hot lap right now.
Say that again.
Willy Wemper?
I'm just trying to make you say it a few times because it's funny. But yeah.
Well,
it's all right. Oh, big
He's
clout.
actually doing a very good job of hitting majority of the walls on this track, and I don't know if he's had any wing damage. It doesn't look like it, as he's still going through a little bit uncomfortable coming through the exit of the final corner. There's a
Decent
hot
time
lap, does
there.
improve. 109.291.
Yeah, just use the walls to slow down. That's how the pros do it.
It's effective.
Yeah.
To a degree.
I think, as I was saying earlier, I think I saw where Blackbird went off. He crashed into the wall at the exit of Nouvelle Chicane. There seemed to be a wheel hub lodged in the barrier on the right hand side. I'll see if I can find a driver coming towards that now. That's not going to work. Rainbow's on an outlap. Oh, let's go on board with Sergios. He'll always see it in a second. So you can just see it on the right hand side there. And there's a wheel hub.
Yep. See ya.
So
Good and proper in that wall.
Yellow flags again. A lot of flags out today. Slash RP's gone. Sector 3. Where was that?
And that's someone who actually didn't expect to be DNFing in this session. He's a quick driver and he's actually really quite consistent as well, but to see him DNF
It's there.
with 4.5 minutes to go, that's not good.
It's the swimming pool chicane once again. Between the first and the second chicanes. Third person to go there today.
Oh dear, El Sergios on a hot lap now with Meta right there as traffic. That's going to be affecting the grip and performance he's going to have available to him.
Oh, and that's a wing.
And he's lost the back end, but he isn't out of the race.
Oh!
Oh, big collision. That was a false
Who was
Indy. I think
that?
that was Speedy. Or was it Pandy Boy?
I think it was Pandy Boy because he just got fight.
It was Pandy
There's no
Boy,
ghosting
look.
on, which is not helping this, and he's stuck in the middle of the track.
Oh, he's got 2 5-place grid penalties.
Oh.
That is disastrous.
Well, the problem is he can't turn.
And he's been disqualified.
He can't turn because he's stuck in the middle of the track and there's no ghosting. And he's just, yeah.
So El Sergios has been disqualified from the session and has received a 10-place
last
grid
anyway.
penalty. Yeah.
I mean, there's not much he could have done about those penalties. Meta should have got out of the way, such as was on a flying lap. And the problem is he then spun, and with no ghosting on, people can't do anything about it.
Yep.
Rainbow's
True.
going once again, so let's circle ball with him. He's
But it also brings, it really brings to light just how quick Rick's reactions were as he was coming down the home straight and had to dodge the guy that came out of the pit lane. It was very, very close. Pandy Boy has retired from the session.
Probably had a little too much front wing damage.
I actually don't think that he retired through a collision. I think he retired on principle.
Well, we'll soon find out. Let me have a little nose.
Well, whilst you're doing that, let's stay on board with Rainbow, who, like we said earlier, is on a hot lap. I'm seeing a lot of debris on the track. And he's looking pretty quick. Remember, Rainbow is actually really quite a quick driver in general anyway. So it doesn't surprise me that he is able to perform the way he is, but currently he hasn't set a lap time. And he has invalidated one already, so he needs to make sure he doesn't do that again with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining of the session. All to do in the next 9 minutes.
So I've heard from the Force India boys, he crashed at the pit entry.
Wow, that is not good.
That might be in there. There's a bit of wing in front of where Rainbow just ran at the last corner.
So Rainbow has done a time, but it is only a 1:10.6.
Well, that's perfect. He's P11. He's now got free choice of tyres. I mean, yes, it is perfect in any other race. Maybe not here.
No.
And he's almost just got to let people crash, and that's not. Ooh, that you've ghosted there. That was fortunate.
Oh, that was close. Abilia Look was in the wall on the left-hand side, and Astro Boy's, who I'm just on board with.
Yeah, he's ghosting, fortunately.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Oh, Rainbow's
quit session.
Interesting.
He's happy with this time.
I guess he is, but he's done 2 laps on those hypersofts. I mean, obviously he's not going to go again, and he has in P11, so he can choose what tyre he starts the race on, like he said. Strategy will play it to his hands as Astro Boy is just completely cut that chicane.
You want Astros, are you? Let's have a look.
He just cut the Novell chicane as if it wasn't there.
Well, you don't lose penalties, do you?
You don't, but that is... I'm sure that's not allowed. Well, anyway, it doesn't make a difference. He didn't get a penalty. He's on track right now, and he's on another hot lap. I want to stay on board with him because he is my P2 prediction. I think he's got what it takes to get there. He only has to improve literally by 2/10 to get up there into the second place. But it's so close between P1 and P2 currently that I actually think that he will be able to take P1 if he's quick enough. Again, that's only 3/10 separate the two.
We'll find out shortly. Going around the Grand Hotel. I used to call it the Lower Hairpin because it's named after the sponsor who owns the hotel. So back in the good old days, it was the Lower Hairpin. Rick has had enough.
Yeah, and I think he has every right to see he's heading up for 1:08.3. Currently sat as pole position. You know, that's a very respectable time, and it's going to be one that's going to be very difficult to beat from most of the drivers here. Clips that curb.
Astros is up.
Oh, and he is, but he's pushing himself so hard, and it's his final attempt. He's so committed to this one. 104, 105, 106, 107, 108.38. Oh, he's done it. He's in P2. My prediction is looking strong in the minute. Now, I said Rainbow P3, so my P3 will not happen. But you said Speedy P3. I'm sure of it.
I had Brownie in there as well, didn't I believe?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. We should write these things down, really, shouldn't we?
We should. Well, we were both right on the Rick in P1. I mean, obviously there is a Brownie on track able to continue. It's Brownie with 0, and he's looking faster. So if he can keep this pace going, oh, he's got traffic up ahead. This is disastrous. He needs to pray that the McLaren goes in the pits. He's in the pits. Perfect. Last corner. Here we go. Foot down, wing up, and get himself really hard across the track, and he goes up into P1. He took it. He took pole position. That was a phenomenal drive by Brownie, and he knocked our predictions out of
the
track.
park.
That was very well driven by Brownie. Last second ditch effort to get himself onto pole position, and he pulled out exactly what he needed to do. So really well done there by Brownie. 1/10 separates him from what was P1 and is now P2 of Rick. Then again, only just by 1.4 separating him and Astro Boy. So the top 3 are all so close together. And look, you know, the top 5 close together again. Then you get to P6, which is the second off the place. Drake Bell is going to lose 5 places, so he's going to be dropping down into P10. We saw a few 5-place grid penalties. Speedy P4,
Oh,
Drake
one
Bell
person, though.
P5 for now will be P10, and Willy Wampa, your favourite guy, in what would be now P5. So you've seen qualifying, you've seen the predictions already, you've seen the pace that Rick has got, but then more importantly, you've seen Brownie with 0, the pace he had at the end and managed to get himself up there. Obviously, he's currently looking very good in keeping this race win, as long as he doesn't get bumped and as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Do you think that he has what it takes to get to the end? And what is your prediction for the end of the race?
I don't think he's got what it takes to get to the win. He put that lap in on the last ditch attempt. Rick was pushing in decent laps the entire way through qualifying. So I think Rick's got what it takes to get the win. He's going to be faster. So I'm going Rick, Brownie, P3. That's where it starts getting interesting, because I reckon those two have got that unlocked down. I'm going for Drake Bell, massive recovery drive.
Yeah, it's possible. I agree with you on the Brownie concept. I think Brownie will struggle throughout the race. I think he'll be fine initially, and I think when he gets to the end of his first stint on the tyres, I think that's when he's going to fall apart. Going around this track in general is really tough. Going around this track with 1 tyres is very difficult. Going around this track with 1 tyres and a lot of fuel on board is next to impossible, but somehow these drivers tend to do that.
He hasn't got a lot of fuel. He has yellow fuel already.
He does,
under
but he
fueled
does
the car.
still have 39 laps of fuel in his car anyway, which does still make things very difficult indeed. And with Rick, bear in mind Rick did his time on ultra soft tyres. Yeah. Remember that that pace of Rick is phenomenal. So I'm going to go completely on board with your prediction of Rick being P1. I think you're absolutely on the nose there. I do think Astro Boys will take P2 though.
Yeah. Don't think Brownie's got it.
I don't think he's got P1 or P2. I think there's going to be an issue on track. I think he's actually going to DNF this race, if I'm being truthfully honest. I don't think he's going to make it to the end, especially the way that he was driving on that pole position lap. He clipped a fair few walls to get to that point. So I'm going to put Brownie to DNF. And I do think Speedy will be P3.
So you're basically going for Brownie to DNF and then everyone move up 1, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough. Oh, that's my mic. So I've got Rick, Brownie, Drake. Although Drake's shown as starting P5, I'm not sure if he is actually starting P5.
He's showing as him disqualified. He should be dropped down to P10 on the start. Let's see. As all the cars are pulling themselves into place, we are going to go and take a look at the drivers. Just waiting for them to... There you go. Drake Bell is now in P10, so everything has been realigned as all the drivers are waiting for these lights to disappear. And when they do, it's going to be a drag race to the turn 1, and off they go. Brownie looking pretty solid. Actually, look at the Force India Speedy really pushing up for getting next to Astro Boys. They kept it clean. There's McLaren issue at the back. McLaren spinning. There's Mr. Zuxen. It's not quite got the drive that he wanted, but he's managed to recover. And so far, I don't think there's been any major issue. Oh, there's already a bit of contact further ahead.
Oh, big contact further back.
Huge collisions. A blockage on
red
the
flag.
track.
Got to be red flag.
Oh, actually, look, this driver's getting past, and that's pushed the McLaren aside. That is Mr. Zuxen, I believe, that is facing the wrong direction. And now you've got Rainbow, who's struggling to get past as well, and Rowe. Now Mr. Zuxen trying to turn himself around. Look, has not managed to get into the lobby, so already there's disaster on course.
Wow.
And how there wasn't a safety car there, I don't know. JJS getting 5-second stop go penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. Same for El Sergio's for ignoring the yellow flag. That will be an overtaking of drivers when there shouldn't really have been an overtake.
Well, that might get annulled later on simply because they had no other choice.
Yeah, I think they had to get past, so that will probably be appealed. But as it stands, the top 4 drivers are exactly where they started. No switcheroos there at all.
Drake Bell's getting fighty.
Take a look as he's coming up to turn 1. He's trying to get past Beef CS. Going to be a little bit close. Beef CS clouts the wall. That's a left end plate gone completely for his car. This is going to be now Drake Bell getting frustrated as he tries to get past Beef. And if Beef actually makes that mistake,
he's almost let him through.
Will get through.
If you've got front wing damage, your best bet is safety car, safety car.
Yeah, safety car indeed. And actually, Drake Bell managed to get past just in the nick of time. That is Meta already out of the race. That is unfortunate news for him.
I believe
Where
Sergio
was
retired
that?
as well.
So Sergio's gone into the pit. So I don't think. No, he's not retired. He's definitely
I
getting.
thought I saw him last session, maybe.
He may have left session, but he's in the pits currently getting a fresh wing and some fresh tyres. I don't think he's retired as such. He's actually gone on to the ultra soft compound, interestingly enough. So strategy is going to be thrown out the window, unfortunately for him. He's going to have to wing it, so to speak. Pardon the pun.
It's interesting to change off the supers onto the ultras, but
I think, to be honest, I think he just forgot to switch the tyre compound. I think he came into the pits thinking, I'm going to need a new wing, and then when they said, actually, we're going to need...
He's not there, don't worry about it.
Right, yeah, he's not there. Safety car well and truly
So
out of the way.
Brownie's taken advantage of this and has pitted. Along with Speedy. Just seeing if anyone's putting new nose on. Drake Bell's coming in. Beefy's obviously got a front wing change. Drake Bell is fine. So this has really worked into the hands of people like Brownie, Speedy, Drake Bell. They're going to get out, have done a pit stop. Oh, that is not going to help anyone.
Where is that?
That's behind the safety car.
Is that a 5? Oh, he's got right end plate missing, I believe. If I looked at that correctly, I think his right end plate's gone now. Yep, it's gone. He's got a lot of elements missing as well. That's going to be a pit stop for him. I think it was a 5-second stop-go penalty, wasn't it? So you can't actually serve that in the pit lane. Obviously, the safety car will be out for a couple more laps before we do actually get that little switcheroo. Astro-wise, I think he's gonna have to pay, isn't he? Really, and get on them super softs. I think that's the best option there. You get on the super softs, you try and recover yourself later when you get onto the ultra softs, and let the drivers that will be running those very worn either ultras or supers. Hopefully, he can then benefit from it and push himself further towards the end of the race. I mean, obviously, if he pits now, he's going to fall all the way down to sort of P12, P13 sort of territory.
Yeah, and that's only going to get worse as the lap progresses.
Yeah, absolutely, because everyone's able to catch up whilst the safety car is slowing everyone down. So if you're Astro Boys right now, you are feeling very frustrated. A simple little mistake, whether it be Rick's fault or Astro Boys' fault, that is going to cost you quite considerably.
Well, he's not going in. That's an interesting call. Mr. Mouse has had enough.
I think he's feeling confident on the wing, which is a bit odd because... You know, you're trying to work out the performance of your car whilst you're under the safety car lap speed, and when you're going round, you're not going to feel quick. So you're not going to know how much your wing is hindering you until you're in the back onto normal race conditions.
Yeah.
And I think refusing to pit for your wing change, especially even if you decide to do it now, you've really shot yourself because you're going to fall so far down. I think he should have done it straight away. Oh, another one. Black reverse. 5-second stop-go penalty for a severe collision. Row is out. Actually, that was a thing. Who is that? Was that Slash?
There he is. He's on the outside of turn 1. But it's Black reverse and Beefy's picked up the penalties. Well, one of them did.
Yeah. I think it was Beef actually called that penalty. 5-second stop go for him as well, and I think that actually caused Rowe to go out and DNF. So not good news for him.
Not in the slightest. So that means the safety car is probably going to be out for a little bit longer now.
Yeah, it very likely will. Oh, there was almost a moment there.
No.
I think Beef CS needs to calm it down a little bit. He's getting a bit too close to Drake Bell, and I think if he carries on in this sort of situation, especially in the safety car situation, he's going to be really putting himself at risk. As Black Reverse almost collected himself another penalty. Oh, there you go. Another 5-second stop-go penalty for him.
Oh.
Severe collision with Beef. Although I didn't actually see any, like, he ghosted and went through him. So whilst there is no wing damage, he still ghosted. But we are back underway.
Rick getting a decent start.
Yeah, he's took off already. Rick in P1, Astro Boy P2, Willy Wampa in P3. Brownie obviously pit, so that's why he's dropped to P4. That's Brownie with 0. And now Blackbird P5, Speedy P6, Drake Bell P7. Let's see how they do. Willy Wumper was looking for a move on Astro Boys. Remember, Astro Boys does have that penalty. Will have to serve when he does pit. And he also has that wing issue where he doesn't have a right end plate or right elements. So issues all around for him.
Willy Wumper's going to look to get a decent drive out here of Mirabeau and get alongside him going into the Nouvelle chicane. But he's just not close enough.
He's not, but Speedy, on the other hand, is. And I think he might be going for a little dive. Nope, he's not. Blackbird managed to keep himself at a good arm's distance. I'm just looking further back as Pandy Boy and Rainbow had a little overtaking moment there, and Rainbow got past. So really good start for him. Oh, Pandy Boy getting in the wall. I don't know if he's got wing issues or not. No, he actually doesn't. He's got a clean wing. And Rick setting the fastest lap time after the safety car restart. No surprise there. Brownie's still chasing with a Wumper, but no. Oh, 3-second time penalty for him. That's going to be news to Brownie's ears. And that's Brownie with 0, remember. He's going to be chasing hard. Brownie's on the super softs as well. With the 3-lap lappage on those tyres, he's going to have to really just be patient, I guess. He's not going to be faster out of the corners, but he will last longer. So when they pit, he'll be able to benefit. He just needs to make sure he doesn't push himself too hard, and especially with these cars right behind him. Like, you got Blackbird and Speedy and Drake Bell all so close to the back end of Brownie.
Well, it's all because Astro Boys has that front wing damage, is backing up the pack a little bit. You see massive look up there into Nouvelle, as Brownie just wants to push Willy Wumper around the track. Drake Bell picks up a 3-second penalty. That's not going to help his cause.
Definitely not.
More penalties flying in here. People getting caught out by Nouvelle chicane, I think.
Yeah, I think they're also getting caught out by themselves as well. You know, the drivers in front where they're chasing ahead, but they're not realizing that you're in the slipstream of someone else, which means you are going to be running in their dirty air. Your brakes won't work as well as you think. You've got less air to use as a downforce, and that's going to really make things difficult for you in general. But it's still going strong. I just want to try to take a look further down, and Slash LP is really close to the back of JJS, who's also super close to the back of Pandy Boy. There's a little bit of a gap between him and Rainbow ahead. If you look at the mid-pack, the majority of them are actually pretty separated. It's top 6, top 7 after Rick, where you're seeing the battle.
It's all because Astro Boys hasn't pitted with that front wing damage. As soon as he pits, things will start changing.
Yeah, indeed. Brownie with a 0, getting close again to the back end of Willy Wumper. I want to stay with these for now because we can see so much happening here. Just so close. Again, this track is not one for having overtaking opportunities. It does mean that they're going to have to find some way to push. Oh, actually he locked up pretty hard. Almost clipped the wall there. Black Reverse getting 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help him. He's all the way down in P9 anyway. Still got some points, but if he carries on performing like that, Astro Boys finally pits.
Look at that, Willy Wumper's just accelerated away.
Is Astro Boys glitched for you?
What do you mean?
Oh, no. He's about to be back underway. So for me, Astro Boys went into the pit lane, but he's still stuck there. Oh, he's out now.
Yeah.
So super softs. That's a served penalty as well for Astro Boys. So now he's penalty free, and all he needs to do is keep it clean, bring it home, and job's good.
Well, look at that gap already appearing between Brownie and Blackbird. Already up to a second, simply because Astro's got it out of the way, allow people to go racing. And Drake Bell's getting close. Pandy Boy picks up another penalty. It's not going well for him.
That's definitely not. He's actually really struggling on this track, and I think, to be honest, it's a matter of time before he either retires through frustration, either gets disqualified, or just crashes out. But I think one of the three is almost a given. And Willy Wumper's actually just pit.
Yeah, he's on
7
the hypers.
laps on those hypersofts.
Could have gone a little longer, considering how little he took out of it after the first lap.
Yeah. Especially with, like you said, under the safety car, there's a few laps where he basically hardly used any rubber.
Drake Bell
the person using rubber is Drake Bell on the back of Speedy. Speedy is trying his best to defend himself, and he does obviously have the advantage of the track not, making it difficult for any overtakes to happen. But Drake Bell is just going to find one slight mistake from Speedy, and that will be a change of positions. But with Blackbird in front, it's going to make it even harder to overtake anyone. If he goes for a dive down this bit here, I think he's going to be finding it.
Speedy might go for a dive though.
Neither of them tried it. But that's got to be frustrating if you're Drake Bell. He knows he's faster than both of these drivers in front. He just can't find an opportunity as he clipped the wall.
Yeah, it's not even like he can play the waiting game. He's on the same tyres as the guys in front, so he's going to be pissing around the same time. His best bet from here is to go another couple of laps, go in, put a set of supers on, just see if you can get to the end, really. As Speedy lifted off there, and Drake Bell's just not close enough to take advantage of it.
Oh.
Another clout of the wall as Imitation Brownie picks up a 3-second penalty.
Brownie with an O.
He might need to change his name.
Yep, he might need to indeed, but Rick pulling away, got a
Drake Bell got on the inside, and he's done it!
He's pulled it off.
Or has he? Yeah, he's done it!
Yes.
Beautiful move.
That was clean as you like. I mean, he made that so slick that I don't think actually Speedy realised what had happened until Drake Bell already got past him. Oh crap, I've just been overtaken. I didn't think I was going to get that happen, but it happened. And Drake Bell up in a P4.
And he's going to make a move.
He's going to be... Yeah, sorry, he's already making moves. He's going around the outside, but he will have the inside on the next corner. Now, look at that. He is through. It's a drag race away. Steve Blackbird can get up to him, but he can't. So Drake Bell doing the impossible on the impossible and making it possible. So Drake
Twice
Bell,
in a lap.
Done to him, yeah.
Credit's got to be given to Speedy for just not turning in too hard on Drake Bell, realising he was coming there. Because it's not a place you expect overtaking, but it is a place that you see overtaking. And yeah, so Speedy obviously just realising in time before he turned in. There's only just enough room for two cars to pass in that corner, so... And...
Yeah, absolutely. Speedy's still close to the back end of Blackbird, and actually Speedy's starting to get a little bit frustrated that he's just seen a car overtake him and the person in front of him. And while Speedy knows that he's quicker than Blackbird, he just cannot do what Drake Bell did. Can't find that opportunity or take that risk.
No, so I thought Zoxon had spun, he just lost a load of positions. But he's still going with a bit of rev limiter issues.
The two Toro Rossos further down, they're actually looking like they may be able to make an overtaking move at some point. Willy Wamper's coming up into the tunnel right behind JJS. He's already in mode 4, quite premature. I think he knew it. He's actually not going for the overtake, which is interesting because that is an overtake. That is probably the best place to make an overtake, into the braking zone.
Just wasn't close enough.
No, but I think he wasn't close enough because he turned his ERS down to mode 2 before we even got to the braking zone. I think he's just fine with riding behind JJS. He does have the benefit of the tyres. That was a bit too close there, but they kept it clean. Wing open now. Again, though, look, mode 2, not trying. He's not trying to push past JJS. JJS is going defensive, thinking that Willy Wamper will actually try and make some plays happen. Look how close they are. How are they going to make this happen? Actually, JJS has gone into the wall. They have spanned both of them. They're blocking the track.
Mr. Mouse going through. Mr. Mouse out.
Oh, huge. Mr. Mouse is gone.
Brownie
crash.
fortunately
Look at
goes.
them all just trying to get past. Oh, that's another wing damage for Willy Wamper. That was just too much, all in one go. El Sergios managing to climb through, but that is disaster for Misty Mouse.
Yeah. Wow. They were.
Huge.
It was just too close to the back end of him and just almost pushed him, and then he spun. And yeah, I think it can only be attributed to Wamper for just not trying to get actually past. He just drove into the back of him, plain and simple.
Yeah.
He made him spin, and unfortunately, Mr. Mouse has paid the ultimate price. Willy Wamper and JGS are going to pay an even bigger price. But,
well, I think it falls to Willy Wamper, if I'm being truthfully honest.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
way that he came out of that corner, he had the drive. He was much faster, but you know, I think he knows it. Look, he's already retired. I don't think that was a collision. I think that was
No, that was a Tabac smash. Oh, black reverse all over the place there.
Oh, okay. I was watching Slash LP as it was coming. Oh, Slash LP is out of the race. But that looked like he didn't even try.
What's happened? Paddy's just stopped in the middle of the Nouvelle Chicane. So what happened with Slash LP? Did he just lose it at the swimming pool complex?
No, he didn't lose it. It looked like he just didn't try. Like he just gave up.
All right.
He hit the wall on the inside there and then hit the outside and then stopped there. Not sure what the plan was. I think it was a very, I'm angry, I've just crashed. But interestingly enough, we've not had another safety car. We've obviously had the first one at the beginning, but we've seen a fair few smashes since then on that one lap. And no change. But Rick, what was our race leader, has pitted. He's on the super stuff, so he did 14 laps on those ultras, switched on to the supers. We might see Blackbird come in as well. And now we saw Drake Bell do those 2 overtakes earlier on Blackbird and Speedy. And now he's on the defensive as Rick, who is by far the quickest driver on this track today. Oh, actually getting super close to each other. And this is someone you will not want to turn your eyes away, because they will be battling, I think, to the death, if I'm being truthfully honest. I think one of them will crash out as a result of an overtake. Whilst they are really good drivers, really clean drivers, they will not want to concede a place to each other because they both want to beat each other.
Yeah, let's hope they give us a good viewing. As Willy Wumper has had enough and gone. Let's see what's happening.
Still so close. Actually, I think Rick is going to make a move here on the home straight. He's got the wing up, and look how close he is already to the back end of Drake Bell. He's got ERS in overtake mode. Actually, Drake Bell just let him through. He knew he was faster. And so there was no point trying to defend it. And Rick actually gets 3-second time penalty for his troubles of going over the turn 1 line.
But he shouldn't have a problem guessing that 3 seconds away from Drake Bell. And Drake Bell's going to pit again, we know that. Brownie should be pitting again. Unless he's able to nurse those tyres the whole way to the end. Which, it might be possible. I'm not going to say it's not possible, or it is possible. It might be possible.
I think it's a very risky move to do that.
Yeah, particularly here. With the wall so close, it just takes one little oversteer and you're going back to your cabin for the night.
Absolutely. As we've already seen, there's 6 drivers, 5 of which crashed out, 1 of which couldn't even rejoin, has left the session. We're only down to the remaining 14 drivers.
So let's see, no battles really at the moment. Astro Boys and Rainbow is about to turn into a battle though.
Well, this has turned from a battle of overtakes to a battle of survival now. Who can manage their tyres the best whilst keeping the pace at optimal? And so far, the only person who seems particularly comfortable, despite his 3-second penalty he got on the last lap, is Rick. As you can see, Pandy Boy getting a 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding. Now, speeding in the pit lane on this track is actually quite impressive, because you're literally coming out of a corner straight into the pit lane. So I'm not quite sure how he must have really gunned it into the pit lane to get that penalty, but he did indeed get a 5-second stop-go penalty. He's already dead last anyway, so he's not really going to lose too much with that 16-second gap, which is now shot up to 36-second gap.
And he's made his 3rd stop as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it to the end of this race. I think it's going to be a case of, does he DNF? Does he, DNF through crashing? Does he get disqualified? Or does he just die through frustration?
Well, we'll find out in a few laps' time. He's picked up already a fair few penalties, so he may end up getting disqualified.
That is a big locker there. That was Brownie, I think it was, actually. He's the back marker getting out of the way, but that was not fun.
Astros is closed down on Rainbow, so we get some DRS action this time round. If Astros doesn't put it in the wall again, just keeps nudging them.
Lovely helicopter cam on him, though, actually.
Oh, you're lucky. Little lockup though, and he's got DRS, but this isn't close enough to even think about making a move.
No, definitely not. BCS getting 3-second time penalty. Honestly, there are so many penalties here on this track because all of the drivers are trying their hardest to keep their pace going, but also not lose any positions on a very difficult to overtake track anyway, as I've repeatedly said so far. But I think you'll find that a lot of them just keep damaging their wings whilst doing it. Astro Boys though, look how close he is to the back of Rainbow. Rainbow was someone who's looked really quite quick and consistent in most of the races, but in this one particular one, I haven't seen him struggle like this at all. He's struggling so hard. Astro Boys, he does have the 3-second time penalty that he got after his 5-second stop go, but and now he needs to try and recover somehow.
That reverse going up a place there on Sergios. Didn't realise they were that close.
Well, Sergios is an AI, remember? So
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Not surprised that that did happen, but someone who hopefully can surprise us is Astro Boys as he's coming around the final corner or two. The wing up and out, overtaking it. It's just he lost the back end on the exit.
Yeah.
They're still trying, but yeah, you can't do it.
He just tried too hard, really. He got the foot down as soon as he thought he could. Put it in mode 4, and it just went, no, I'm going that way, not that way.
On board with Pandy Boy, who...
I bet that's fun to watch.
Well, he did just... Oh, he's just cleared the wall again. He's missing an end play on the right hand side. I'm pretty certain this lap is going to be the end of Pandy Boy.
Pandy Boy just needs to take it careful. He'll get Sergios eventually, and other people are going to get himself crashed out. He just needs to effectively stay in the race. He might end up with a point or two.
JJS on Brandy with an O.
Astro!
Really
sorry, Astros was looking, diving down the inside there of the Nouvelle Chicane. Locked up big time, and has dropped right back, and Drake Bell is right on the tail of him now. With
JJS has managed to get past Brownie, so I'm just going to jump up to Drake Bell.
That is right on the rear of Astro. Astro's had a nightmare Nouvelle Chicane, as I say, he tried to go down the inside of Rainbow, locked up, and then got a terrible drive out the corner, which has allowed Drake Bell to close right in on him. I don't think... Oh, say that. Oh no, that's Blackbird. That's the wrong person. I've gone the wrong way. No, I thought Astros were going to go for a dive.
He just wasn't fast enough. I mean, he got close towards the end, but it was just too little too late with the wing up, and Rainbow's going to be feeling a little bit under the pressure, but remember, he is running in the fresh air. There's no issues there. Drake Bell going to do what he did earlier, and he got through the inside of Astro Boys. Astro Boys turned into him, but there was no damage, and Drake Bell, I don't know how he's making those overtakes work, but he is. And he's up into P5 again, following his pit stop.
He is driving just beautifully. He knows where to go, where to put the car, and I think he's going to have Rainbow. Yeah, he will. Look at this. This can just go down the inside. Got ya. See you next week.
He's done it. Oh, actually, that was a bit aggressive on the curbs. Managed to still capitalise and claim that position without getting a penalty. But if he continues like this, we may see something tragic.
Up to the front.
Look at P1, P2.
Yep.
Rick closing on Brownie. Isn't attempting to do what Drake Bell did on the other drivers as we just saw last lap. But he's still... Oh, that was a little bit too aggressive there from Rick. I think he was expecting Brownie to be a little bit quicker than he was, but just wasn't.
Well, Rick took too much of the corner. Brownie not enough of the corner.
Well, Rick lost out a lot of time there, so there'll be no dive opportunity here for him on this lap. Actually, I think they're coming up to some traffic. Yeah, that's the Williams. That is the Williams of Black Reverse. So he's going to need to get his backside out of the way pretty swiftly. Thought he was going to get in the way on the corner, but
no.
Rick, whilst he's doing everything he can, just isn't able to do enough. Want to pop down to Drake Bell. He's the one who's likely going to make an overtake coming up. And I think it's going to be here. This is for the podium, the final place on the podium. Oh, Drake Bell went a little bit wide, but already he's up into P3, and he's got a massive gap between him and Beef CS. So, P3 for Drake Bell. But let's just point out the elephant in the room that can't be really noticed unless you pay attention to it. Drake Bell's gap between P2 is 32 seconds.
Yeah, but he's on quicker tyres. That's the only thing that's going for him. He's got to do another 18 laps. He's going to be on 20 laps, and that'll take him to pretty much the end of the life of those ultras.
But I mean, he's still going to be in position because Brownie's pretty much guaranteed to have to pit, right?
Yeah.
He's 18 laps in on these supers.
There's obviously still another 18 laps to go, and I think it's just going to be a bit too much for those tyres to last. I've never seen anyone go 36 laps on super softs. Possible, you know, anything is possible, but I just think it's going to be too much to do. I think he's going to be out. But then again, on the flip side, for Brownie to win this race, he would have to finish on these tyres and still be able to keep Rick behind him. Too much to ask? For me, yes.
Well, you say that, but it depends how late into the race he can go. He might be able to put on a beautiful set of hypers and just set the timing boards alight. Yes, okay, that's one thing. Another thing is trying to be able to pass another driver. We saw in the actual F1 this year, Danny Rick with his hybrid engine, wasn't it? The ERS part just failed on him, and he still held the lead for about 10-15 laps. It just shows how hard it is to actually pass here. And I think
that also really glorifies how well Drake Bell's overtakes were.
Yeah.
It shows, you know, that he was doing everything he could to overtake, and he made them look so clean and so easy. And like I said earlier, he did the impossible on an impossible, and then made it possible.
Twice.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Actually, he's done it 4 times now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's really killing it right now. He's actually already brought the gap down by 2 seconds between him and P2. Rick really needs to pray that Brownie pits. I think realistically, if you're in Brownie's shoes right now, you pit right now whilst the gap is as big as it is. Pit so that when you come out, you're still ahead of Drake Bell, and you just do your absolute hardest to keep the gap alive.
I think you've got to go so you can get onto the hypers. At the moment, you're going to put on the set of ultras. It's just not going to be that quick. He can still afford to lose another 10 seconds to Drake Bell. Oh, Astro Boy's nearly having beef with covering them off. Probably not the best try to attempt to cover people off on this track because it generally ends badly. But
I think it's going to be a matter of time before Brownie realises he has to pit. I'm just hoping he realises he has to pit before Drake Bell closes that gap. Like realistically now, if he pits now, he's going to have about 6 or 7 seconds minimum separating Drake Bell. It depends on how quick he is on that lap or not.
Astro's nearly having beefy there, sorry. They are battling it out. But
the other thing to note is that Rick is actually, if you watch him as he comes out of the slow corners, he's lighting those rears up pretty hard. That's going to be a fair bit of wear on those tyres. It also means that the temperature is going to be skyrocketing. And, you know, with 16 laps to go, it's going to be a tall order for him to make it and not have a huge amount of issues.
I think we need to consider the fact that Drake Bell might need to pit again as well. You say 16 laps to go, that'll put him on 21 laps on those ultra softs. I've got him doing about 18.
Oh, Astro Boy's going down the inside. They're trying to break late, and he's actually ahead. Look at that. Wow, what an overtake by Astro Boys. EFCS did not see that coming.
Speedy coming as well. Does it?
How did he manage to do that?
That's not actually. Beefy just had a terrible drive off the corner because he went so deep. He had to then cut back to make the corner, and Speedy just closed right up and took him going into Tabac.
So you go that many laps without seeing an overtake, then all of a sudden you see 2 overtakes on the same person. EFCS really lost out there. He is 20 laps in on these supers, but I mean, Astro Boys is 16 laps in, so I can sort of understand that. But when Speedy just airs on past as well, that's impressive. Blackbird also chasing Rainbow.
Yeah, he's
I wonder if he's going to try what Drake Bell did earlier, because this is the section here.
No.
And
terrible
Blackbird
drive
had
off
it
the
done to
corner.
him. Yeah.
He's got much fresher tyres as well. Rainbow's 22-lap-old super softs starting to feel a little bit old for him, I would have thought by now. His blue flags are waving as well.
I don't want to look away from Rick and Brownie, if I'm honest. I know that this battle has been going on for quite a few laps now. Yeah, I had a feeling he was going to eventually retire.
He did well, considering the amount of nose changes he had to have.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll stick with Blackbird then and see what he does.
Well, I'll come join you because I really don't think Rick is going to be able to make this overtake happen anytime soon. He's going to have to wait for Brownie to pit. And I'll tell you, actually, being truthfully honest, Brownie has done a really good job of holding Rick back, and at the same time also keeping the gap between P3. It's hovering around about the 29-30 second mark. Drake Bell not doing enough to be able to close it up, and whilst he's on the fastest compound tyre, I guess he is trying to just maintain the life of them so he can get to the end of the race on these tyres. Like you said, 21 laps is going to be a hell of a do, but I think he can do it.
Well, we'll find out shortly. I say shortly, still a way to go.
In a long time.
In a few laps. I mean, if he does another 10 laps, then we'll know how he's doing. 10 laps on these ultras. But if you can do 10, why can't you do 13, eh?
That is a very valuable point. Well, Blackbird on the back end of Rainbow
back
again. He's just not. But he needs to work on the exit of that corner. You know, Rainbow won't be having the greatest grip coming out of it, just simply because of the edge of his tyres. But the fact that Blackbird is struggling more than Rainbow is on the exit, it really suggests just how uncomfortable Blackbird is on this track.
He's just getting his foot down a little too early coming off these corners, and that's causing him to spin up those rears, not get that power down, and unable to chase after Rainbow. And they are closing in on Beef in front of them as well. That's not actually Beef in front of them, that's Sergios in front of them. In front of that is Beef, he's 1.6 seconds up the field at the moment. As the gap at the front's actually increased a little bit, it's up to 0.7, it was 0.4 a moment ago.
Yeah, I think Rick might be making the logical decision to stop running in the dirt, look after his brakes, look after his tyres, and just try his best to nurse these to the end.
There you go, flag set to 2, what's happened?
I'm not seeing a huge drop in position.
Maybe it was just someone pulling out the way.
I mean, that's the other thing to think about with this track is that it isn't actually that long a track. So, you know, the back of the grid actually do quite a quick job of catching up. And speaking of, Astro Boys actually just lost the place for Speedy.
I was going to say, I didn't notice that one. And yeah, Speedy up to P4. It's a bit off the pace of Drake Bell, but he'll be there if anyone decides they want to go for a swim instead. Oh, is that Rainbow picking up damage? Just saw a bit of...
I looked away because Brownie is going to be under attack again from Rick. Oh, Rick.
Rainbow has damage.
Really?
Right elements all missing.
Front left or
front right? Front right elements all missing. He's got the side, but he's missing all those elements. That's going to put Blackbird right behind him. And this is a high downforce track, really. And that is why.
Blackbird's gone down the inside.
That's
and
easy,
he is through. Well done by Blackbird. Capitalised on the mistakes of Rainbow. Rainbow must be feeling a little bit wounded after that one. And I think if you're Rainbow, you're 25 laps in on these supers. Pit now, get yourself onto some fresh...
hypers.
I don't think you go hypers.
Yes,
I mean,
you
11 laps on a hyper.
Yeah, be fine.
I mean, you can do it, don't get me wrong, but when you get past sort of lap 8, you're going to be really feeling a lack of grip. And then when you light your rears up, you're going to be struggling. I think you go ultras just for the safety factor. Your performance will be faster than the majority of the drivers on the track anyway. And with a fresh wing, I think that's where you're going to really be able to close in a fair bit. If you go on hypers and you end up getting stuck in the dirty air of someone, your tyres are going to degrade even faster.
Well,
I honestly think it's
he's not going to get stuck in the dirty air. Look at the gap between him and Mr. Zoxon. 53 seconds. He's not pitted, but maybe he's just going to go for another lap and then get them on. Because he's going to come out in the same position, and you might as well just pit anyway. There's no reason at this stage not to pit. And Rick has got that gap back down again, hasn't he?
He's
right there.
In that 3/10. So good job by Astro Boys to be within that overtaking opportunity. The DRS range obviously still 4/10 separates the two of them, but we saw Speedy overtake him, and I don't think Speedy will be conceding any position anytime soon, especially with how quick he can be. Look at the gap. It's shrinking now. Astro Boys may go for an overtaking opportunity. It's going to be a dive if he can do it. No, he's not doing it. Speedy Boy locked up a little bit there.
No, I mean, to get an overtake there, you effectively need to be in the position to overtake as you come out that tunnel. Because as soon as you hit that little bump and start heading downhill, that is your braking point. And Astro Boys wasn't anywhere near him when they hit the brakes. And Blackbird is caught up with Beefs already. And this could be an overtake down the home straight. Blackbird obviously lighting up those rears, but he's looking quick, but I don't think he's going to be quick enough. No.
But I mean, if we see Beef doing, are we going to see a repeat? JJS of and who was it? Zoxon. They almost came together, did Blackbird and Beef, like what we saw earlier.
It's Willy
on,
Wamper and JJS.
That was it. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
I mean that was a slightly different situation. That was front to rear contact. This was side to side contact.
I think if it had been the same again, I think if it had been front to rear, I think we would have seen the collision.
Yeah, someone would have gone off.
Yeah, proper DNF.
Are they getting? They're probably getting blue flagged, can they? No.
I don't think so. Drake Bell has managed to get the gap down just a touch between him and Rick. Now down to 27.5. But that's still not anywhere near enough for him to really do anything about this situation. That was close.
I wonder if Brownie's going to come in this lap. Oh,
BCS made a mistake. Now Blackbird, he just needs to get a better drive out of this corner. Again, can't get past Beef. Lights up the rears, loses the back end a bit. Can't get the power down properly, and BCS just runs away. He gets away with that mistake. But he's going to be counting his blessings. Although if he carries on driving the way he is right now, he's going to be really struggling. 27 laps in on these supers. Grip must be falling away from him as Blackbird's going around the outside. He clipped the wall. Actually, they come together. That puts BCS into the wall with a touch, but no damage. I think Blackbird got a touch of damage.
I couldn't get a decent camera angle.
That was an ahead. P6 for Blackbird. Really well done after the sketchy attempt at the overtake, first of all, and then second attempt worked out quite well for him. But still, our potential race leader, which was Rick, still cannot get past Brownie, and the fact that he's not pit already does tell me that Brownie will not be pitting anytime soon. And so the question is, if his tyres are worn, which I imagine they are, how long until one burst?
So we find out. But going back to the Blackbird Beef's interchange, I think Blackbird hit the outside of the corner, bounced back in towards Beef's, and annoyingly I couldn't get a decent camera angle. I was stuck on really rubbish broadcast angles once again, as you seem to always get when there's something good to watch. You get a rubbish angle. Really quite annoying.
Yeah.
Let's go watch Rick.
Actually, Rick, he needs to figure out a plan now. Remember, he does have the 3-second time penalty, whereas I don't think Brownie with 0 has any penalties at all.
He's not using DRS. Has he got a DRS fault? Oh, he used it there. Just flicked it on at the very end. He didn't realise he had it, I don't think. Both with yellow fuel as well.
I think Rick is actually going to be not far off of the tyre where that Brownie has. He's been running in the dirty air for so many laps, clips the wall as well. That's not going to help him either. Is he going to be able to get around the carousel without any issues? Yep, he is. He's done that okay. Rick really starting to feel the pressure now. He knows if he wants to take this risk when he has to find a move on Brownie, and then he needs to build that 3-second gap as well. And I think Rick won't have that problem when he's passed. I think he'll be fine at pulling that 3-second gap away. But it's the fact he just cannot get past Brownie at all. The pit stop did not work out how he wanted it to as such. He did come out back in P2, but
another 3 seconds.
No. Disaster for Rick again. Back end kicked out huge there.
Just trying to have a look at Brownie's tyres. Can't actually see anything wrong with them. They look fine. The front anyway. Can't see the back ones. The front look fine.
Look at the gap now between Rick and Brownie. It's almost at a full second because Rick is just struggling. He's losing the grip, losing the performance of the car.
Do you reckon Rick was just sitting there waiting for Brownie to pit and has now realised, oh, he's not actually going to pit. I might need to actually pass him.
I think that was the case. I think Rick was fully expecting the driver in front to hop into the pits and get some fresh boots, but it just hasn't worked out like that. And I think Rick now realising, actually, oops, I've left it very late to take an opportunity. I've given myself a 6-second penalty. I need to figure out a way to pull this gap back, get myself back on his back end properly.
Without hitting the wall like that.
Yeah, and then I need to get past him. This is really where he can do it. This part here, if he can get a good exit, which he didn't do,
again,
then he would actually be able to fly on past him. And now he's going to have to start adopting moves from Drake Bell if he wants to take the race win.
You say that, but he's never close enough, really, unless Brownie makes a mistake, and even then it's not in the right place for him to overtake. I mean, Brownie's just made a mistake there, so he does have a little chance here, but he made a mistake himself, and he's
he's having a look for it. They're side by side. They're actually a fair bit of a lock up there from Brownie, and Brownie managed to hold on to P1. Again, we know that Rick is trying his absolute damned hardest to get past, and I just think it's not going to work out for him like this. He needs to try it here, get a good exit. Traffic is coming up ahead. This could play into the hands of Rick, but Slipstream available to him. He's already in the overtake mode, but no overtaking opportunity available. Just too far back. Back and kicking out again. Look how much he's putting the power down. He is committed. He's a man on a mission, and whilst he can smell every change that Brownie is doing in the gearbox, he just can't lose sight of it. Look how close he is to the back end. Is he going to try the inside? He is having a look.
That's
but
a risky place.
Oh, Blacker is getting in the wall there.
No, he's out of the way.
This time. No, still, again, loses so much pace coming out of that corner, and he just cannot get past Brownie. Again, he's going to have to adopt moves like what we saw on Drake Bar. 6-10 separates them still. The tyres must be falling apart for Rick right now. I mean, Brownie's aren't exactly going to be in the greatest of shape anyway, but he's been running in clean air, and he's been able to really dictate the pace because of how wide he's made his own car. Really making things difficult for the drivers ahead. And actually now, Rainbow, who is also on 32 laps of these supers, he's now holding back Brownie.
Tactics?
And this could... I think we are going to see some team tactics here. He's got the blue flag, but for as long as...
Rick's just,
Rainbow
again, not close enough.
Oh, Rainbow had a little bit of a nudge. And actually, look at that. Brownie's got off the track. Rainbow gets penalty, and there's contact.
Damage.
I don't know if I saw any damage coming off of Rick's car.
Rick's front left. Rick has lost the entire front left. Obviously, there's still the flat part, but there is no elements, no end plate, nothing. And he's only got his teammates to blame.
Exactly. I mean, the plan was for his teammate to hold back.
Well, it might have been.
Well, it looked like it because the way that Rainbow was driving, he looked like he was trying to hold back Brownie. Rainbow moved towards the end of that little downhill. He moved out of the way, but then he bounced off the wall, which then collected Brownie. That's why you saw Brownie off the track as they actually went into Nouvelle Chicane. And then Rick thought, yes, here's my chance. I'm going to do it. I'm going to really pace it through. And then all of a sudden, Brownie was right in front of him. He's like, oh, crap, slam on the brakes. And then there was a contact, and that's where that wing element, you see there. I think his end plate's gone as well, actually. Yeah,
the entire left front is gone. I'm just having a look. Yeah, Brownie hasn't lost any. And they've got 2 cars to try and pass now. Rainbow needs to get out of the way. I'm surprised he hasn't been hit with the 5-second penalties yet. So he's also trying to pass Beast himself, but he's got to pay attention to the fact there is a blue flag. And my co-commentator has, unfortunately, looks like he's left the session. Are you still here, Mr. Ragster? No, it appears Raggy has disconnected. So it looks like it's down to me to finish off this race, as Rick is still all over the back of Brownie. And Rainbow has got past Beast. Beast has let the back markers through, and Rainbow has now picked up a 5-second penalty for this holding up. And we're about to start lap 37. They're all sliding all over the place. Rainbow finally gets out of the way. Rick's got a decent drive out the corner. Is he going to go down the outside? He's going down the outside. There's not enough room there for him. And he's still right there on the back of Brownie. Obviously, Rick, with this damaged front wing, is not going to be helping him in the slightest. And he's just lost a bit there at the Massenet, and he's going to lose a little bit of time here to Brownie going through Casino. As Astro Boys is closing on Speedy, hunting in for that P4. But these 34-lap-old tyres on Brownie are looking a little shot by now. After that, this battle has been going on pretty much for about 20 laps now. Both these drivers must be absolutely knackered. I can hear a co-commentator. I have no idea who he is. You're right.
Back. I did have some issues where I did drop connection for a minute. I lost connection to Steam. It is repaired, but I also got kicked on the session. So unfortunately, I can't see anything.
Fair enough.
So
well,
you will have to finish this one on your own.
That's not a problem. Black Reverse just picked up a 3-second penalty.
I will drop you the host for the
Dankeschön.
meantime, and then once this race is over, I will return to my normal screen.
Fair enough. Well, Astro Boys is on the rear here as Speedy as they're coming around the Grand Hotel hairpin. So Astro Boys could be looking to make a little dive. I think Rick's given up now. He's starting to drop back a bit. But Astro Boys battling with Speedy for P4 going through the tunnel. Is he going to send it down the inside? He's getting closer. He looks, sends it, and locks up. Both of them lock up. And neither of them picking up penalties. And Astro Boys has actually got a better drive at the corner. He's looking to go down the inside to back. A little bit, oh, big contact there. And Speedy holds position. I think they both must have picked up a bit of damage for their troubles there. Yeah, his front right is missing on Speedy. And I wouldn't be surprised if Astro Boys is missing some. He's not, actually. So Speedy holds the position, picks up damage as they start lap 38, these two. The leaders are also on lap 38, and the gap between Brownie and Rick is increased by up to 2.4 seconds, so that is pretty much a done deal as Rainbow picks up more penalties. And so we're just going to sit here with Astro Boys and Speedy, see if they can make a move happen. They've only got 2 laps to do it. Will we see it happen? I wouldn't be surprised if we do. Blackbird is closed on Rainbow. Rainbow with a lot of penalties, and Blackbird has some lovely tyres on him. Let's have a quick look at him. He's got some rather fresh ultra softs on him. Rainbow with 35 lap old super softs and a lot of penalties. I think Blackbird's best bet is almost just to sit behind him, wait for the check flag, or just drive into the back of him. And yeah, I mean, that's one way of trying to pass the guy in front. You pick up a bit of damage, and that is not going to help him. But let's go back up to Astro Boys. Just coming out of the Nouvelle chicane, going up to the back. That's where they had a little contact last time round. Speedy is really struggling with that front wing damage, and a bit of a corner cut there from Astro. Don't think he picks up a penalty. I'm just wondering if Astro Boys is just saying, look, Speedy, I took you out, you finished in front of me. I haven't looked at that, I'm not sure now. So they are coming around to start the final lap. Astro Boys has dropped back a little bit through that bit of oversteer. Let's have a look at Blackbird. He's looking down the inside. No, he's not. He's sitting behind Rainbow. And that's almost just going to be nothing for now. Let's go back to Astro Boys, battling with Speedy. Coming up to Casino. This is going to give him a chance if he wants it. But he doesn't get a drive out the corner that he was after. And he sits in behind Speedy as we're going through Maribou. This is not really an overtaking place unless one makes a mistake. But out front, Brownie has taken the win quite comfortably at the end of the day. 37 laps on those tyres. Absolute hero. Drake Bell coming up to Rascas now. Rainbow's finished. He's picked up a big penalty. He's finished just behind Rainbow. Blackbird, sorry. And Drake Bell's going to come across in P3 to round out the podium. Speedy then, a bit further back, 27 seconds behind, as Imitation Brownie picks up a 5-second stop go for a 5-second penalty for an unserved stop go. Astro Boy's picking up another penalty in his battle to get past Speedy, and that looked like contact there, and yeah, that's not going to help either of the drivers. Astros is effectively letting Speedy take this, and to right, they've had a little issues through these last few laps, and I think Astro Boys' annoyance showing up there as he crossed the line. JGS will be the last man, just coming through the last corner and onto the home straight to round off the race. Well, they saved the best to last.
Yeah, interesting one as well. How unfortunate for the actual disconnect on my side. I just seem to have lost network connectivity for about 10-15 seconds. I could hear you the entire time, but unfortunate. Rick actually not quite getting what he was hoping out of that. He was hoping for that race win. He just wasn't able to pull it off.
Brown with no penalties whatsoever, though. That's impressive.
Yeah,
so did Sergios.
The 37, was it 37 laps on those super soft tyres for Brownie? That's phenomenal. Realistically, he didn't have a choice but to run that long if he wanted to have a race win. But to get a P1 in the qualifying at the last second ditch attempt, I honestly thought he was not going to make it to the end of the race. I thought his tyres were going to burst, but he proved me wrong and made it. And then takes the race win as well.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you, how did who's your driver of the day? But for me, straight up, hands down, Brownie.
Absolutely. Credit goes to, obviously, Drake Bell for a storming overtakes we saw. Considering he had a 5-second penalty, so he didn't 5-place grid penalty, he didn't actually start fifth. He started